Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. As I always start off all of these videos, I'm going to apologize for my daughter. Again, just like in the last video, my husband isn't home, so I'm the one watching her. She is standing next to me. Her playroom's right across from me, so I can see her while doing this video. And she's probably gonna make a lot of noise, so I apologize for that in advance. But yeah, so let's just jump right into the video. As you can tell, this is my 23-week pregnancy update. And I wanted to kind of separate this one from the other ones because I felt like I had a lot to discuss this week, and I hate it when my videos are like 30 minutes long. And so I'm gonna try to get through this as fast as I can and be as thorough as I can. But yeah, I can't believe today marks 24 weeks, 2 days for me. But you guys know that I like to finish out the week before I do the update. So this is going to be the update for last week. And yeah, I just feel like so much has been going on that I just need to talk to you guys about. I was reading on I have the app, What to Expect When You Are Expecting. And I love that app. I used it last pregnancy. And I enjoyed it so much last pregnancy that, of course, I was like, I gotta use it this time too. So, it talked about how like this week, I think the baby weighs like a pound or something, which is so crazy. I feel like he is growing so fast, and this time is flying by. I say it all the time, you guys, but it truly is. It's just flying by so much faster than my last pregnancy. I don't know why, maybe just because I'm so busy with her already that this one is just like, my due date is December 8th, and I feel like that's gonna be here before we know it. But I'm very excited, obviously, for that day. It's gonna be awesome, but I'm ready for him to be here, and I think everybody feels that way. The first thing that I wanted to mention was how nowadays my stomach is so big that shaving is such a hassle in the shower that sometimes I'm just like, screw it. I'm just not even gonna bother. I can't see past my stomach. I can't. Like I can't see that. So I have no idea what's going on in the nether regions. So she was laughing too. So that's been super fun, and obviously this is my second pregnancy, so I knew that that was gonna come. I think everybody knows that that's coming, whether it's their first pregnancy or not, because you know your stomach's gonna grow. And so at this point, I also have one of those showers. I have one of those showers that doesn't have anywhere for you to put like your legs on, you know. It's just like a big box, basically. Doesn't have any ledges or anything, so it's not like I can just like prop my leg up on something and like shave. You have to like either like put your leg on the wall or, you know, just bend down to do it, and that's just something that I can't do now. So it's quite the hassle, but that's okay. I mean, who am I trying to impress anyways, right? I mean, I'm already married, so, you know, it is what it is. In my last pregnancy update, I believe that I had only gained 11 pounds thus far. And I got on the scale yesterday morning, and it said that I had just put on an additional pound, and which I believe is normal to gain a pound a week at this stage in the game. So I had just put on an additional pound. So now I have gained a total of 12 pounds in 24 weeks of pregnancy. So last week when I got on the scale, it was 11 pounds. This week it's 12. So not bad, I think, for 24 weeks along. If you go online and look up how much weight you should be gaining per week, it says I'm right on target. And every time I go to my doctor, they say, you know, I'm right on track, healthy weight gain, etc. So I feel good about that number. And I'm still healthy. I still eat healthy. I go to the gym as often as I can. Some days I only get there 3 to 4 days a week. Most days I try to attempt getting there 5 to 6. I do what I can. I'm a mom. My husband works. I can't just, you know, flit around town all day and go to the gym every single day for 3 hours at a time like I used to before her. But I still go and I still eat right, so I feel good about the 12-pound weight gain. One thing that I had noticed that came about was severe sciatic pain in my left back, lower back, shooting into my left butt cheek, and that hurts so bad. And it seems to only happen when I'm like walking or like walking for an extended period of time, not just like from here to the mailbox or anything like that, because I'm a person who likes to do my cardio on the treadmill. I like to put it up at an incline. I've never been a fan of like a Stairmaster or like the bike or things like that. So when I go to the gym to do cardio, I put the incline up and I walk at a pretty fast pace. And I've noticed that recently that's been very hard for me. Not because I tire out, but because that sciatic pain that I'm feeling on my left side is so bad that I can't do it. So I've recently had to resort to things, you know, like the bike, because that doesn't affect my back and it doesn't affect my sciatic nerve. And even when I lower the incline on the treadmill, it still happens. I had this last pregnancy with my daughter, so I thought maybe this pregnancy would be a little different because I'm not as heavy as I was. I've said it before, I gained 60 pounds in total with her, and by this point I was much, much heavier than I am right now. So I didn't think that I would get that pain, but I am, and I don't know if it's just because the baby's pressing on something or what, but I have the sciatic pain. So and luckily for me, it's only when I'm, you know, doing something at the gym as far as walking, and so I can change that up and I can choose to get on the bike or something different. So I've been switching that out lately because I notice a big difference when I don't walk on the treadmill versus when I do. Another thing that has been bothering me a lot this week has been knee pain. And I had this again with my first pregnancy, but I had attributed it to being so heavy and overweight as I was with her. And this time I'm not. And no, I still have that bad knee pain. It happens at the end of the day, and like when I'm laying in bed, they just like, they're so achy and they just like throb. And it's not like I'm going out and running a marathon or doing anything crazy. And I don't know, it's pretty much every day that it happens for me at this point. And it really sucks. That's one thing that I wish that I could change about this pregnancy, because it's not like you can massage your knees to feel better, because you can't do that. So dealing with the knee pain has definitely been bad, but it's okay, it's okay. I'm 24 weeks long, I'm making it to the end here coming up. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely not the best. So that's just one thing that's been killing me at the end of the days. Another thing that's like funny, that's also started to happen within these last few weeks has been how much my belly button has popped. And last pregnancy, my belly button didn't pop until, oh my gosh, like right before I was due, you know, when you're that big. And pre-pregnancy, I have an innie belly button, and I'm only 24 weeks and my belly button is like completely flat to the surface, so I don't have an innie anymore, but I don't have an outie, but it's like making its way out, you know? This is much sooner than it happened for me last time, so I feel like by the end of this pregnancy, my belly button is just gonna be like very large and out, making its appearance and its debut for everybody. My cravings have gone down significantly. Like normally I'll have a craving and I'm like fiending so bad for that. I'm like, oh, I gotta have that. Or I'm like, I gotta have something like that's gonna satisfy that, you know what I mean? And this past week has been super easy. I haven't craved anything significant. I haven't craved anything terrible. Yesterday I found myself craving a salad, which is funny. I don't know, I craved like the cold salad with like cranberries and like feta cheese on it. I don't know why, but that sounded really good, and that's not a horrible craving to have. But this past week I craved a lot of sweet things, but I found that like fruit satisfied that, or like a bowl of cereal or something satisfied that sweet tooth. So I didn't have any crazy cravings as of this past week, so I'm very happy about that. Hunger level, however, is still up there, but cravings has kind of leveled out, knock on wood. Hopefully it stays that way, but hunger level is still through the roof. I still don't have any aversions for this pregnancy, which is so funny because last pregnancy I did. I had a lot of them, and this time I haven't really, nothing has sounded bad to me. Nothing has been like, oh no, I can't smell that, I can't be in the room with that. You know, and last pregnancy, I couldn't even be in the room with somebody who was drinking coffee. It made me want to vomit. And same thing with vegetables. I think I've mentioned this to you guys before, but this pregnancy, no, everything sounds good, everything tastes good, everything is fine. So I'm very lucky and fortunate for that as well, because I know a lot of women really get serious aversions to things that they normally love and things that are beneficial for them, and it's tough, it's a tough one. This time, it's been really good. I'm still loving everything. Pretty much everything gives me heartburn. I have heartburn throughout the day, throughout the night. It's terrible. But as I said in the previous video, I have experienced this before in my last pregnancy, so I figured it was gonna happen this time, and it has. So it's not terrible yet, but it's still early. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was my recent hospital visit, not for a checkup, but an actual hospital visit. My son is very active at night, and he generally moves throughout the course of like so many hours. So like from like late afternoon into when I go to bed, and I mean possibly later, but I'm asleep, so I don't really notice. But I hadn't felt him move from afternoon until I went to bed, and that made me extremely nervous. And I was like, okay, well maybe it's just in my head. So I went to bed that night, and the next morning I woke up, you know, drank some cold water, ate some food, and I still wasn't feeling any movement. And I had called the nurse, and she said, yeah, absolutely, come in, you know, you need to get seen. On our way there, I started to feel him move. And, you know, obviously I'm like, oh, thank God he's okay. But at the same time, I'm like, I was worried because he hadn't moved for so many hours. And I had read online that any type of change as far as movement is concerned is a flag, and, you know, should be spoken with your doctor about. So when I got there, I of course told them what was going on. Like, look, I didn't feel him from this many hours, but now I do. You know, then they still were like, well, we'll just check just to make sure. And he was perfect, everything was fine. They don't know why he wasn't moving at that point. And obviously I felt a heck of a lot better going there and seeing him on the ultrasound machine and hearing his heartbeat. And I would have been so upset with myself if something would have been wrong with him and I ignored it. So I'm still happy that we went and we chose to go to the hospital because it made us both feel better that he was okay. So nothing serious, it was just he didn't move for a significant amount of time and we were just worried. So we went in just to check everything out and everything's perfect. So I just wanted to update you guys on that hospital visit. Another symptom that I had mentioned last week and probably the week before that has been being significantly out of breath, and I'm still very out of breath when I talk. I'm, you know, huffing and puffing, and no matter the length of the conversation, it still gets me out of breath. So that's something that's still been going on with me and probably will continue until the very end, until I give birth. So it's still hanging around, and I expected to be out of breath, just not this soon. Another symptom that I had mentioned last week was my nose being very stuffy. And it still is. It drives me up the wall. It seriously does. My nose is just so runny all the time, like very liquidy. Obviously it's not like I told you last week, when I blow my nose, there's nothing to come out. It's just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like mucusy, it's not like a sickness. It's like, it feels almost like allergies, but that's not what it is. So it's pregnancy related, but it's still around. It's another something that's been around for a few weeks now, and I don't see it going anywhere, especially because I'm gonna be pregnant in the colder months here in Florida, and cold weather makes my nose even more stuffy. So good time to be pregnant, Chelsea, good time. But that's all I have to update you guys on this week. Nothing too significant, nothing too crazy has happened. I'm about to show you my bump, so don't go anywhere just yet. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss any more pregnancy updates. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next update. Bye. I'm wearing a dress, so I'm obviously not gonna lift up my dress. But if you're wondering where I got this dress from, it's from Pink Blush Maternity, and I'll link it in the description. I'll link it in the description box below for you guys. It's a maxi dress. So that's my front bump and my side. Getting very big.